Hiya, my name's Charlie and welcome to my channel and welcome to my weekly reads. How are you guys? Firstly, I want to say if it's a little bit echoey in here, I apologise. Obviously, I'm decorating as I said last week, so I don't currently have books on my shelves. I am actually going to even plan on giving this a little like refresh. I'm going to try and bleach it, so maybe next week when you see the video it might look a bit different. Will it? I don't know. We're going to see how my DIY thing goes. But yeah, if not, if it looks terrible, I may well be in a different location. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Before I go into more natty stuff, I'm going to get into what books I've been reading, which still isn't a whole lot, but here we go. I finished listening to The King is Dead by Benjamin Dean. I listened to this on audiobook. And it's narrated by Ivano Jeremiah, which I highly recommend the audiobook. This is a book, in case you don't know, it's a YA, it's classed as a YA thriller. I really wouldn't describe it as a thriller. It's more like this, it definitely is what feels very YA though. It's a story about a king whose father has sadly passed away. I think he's meant to be the king of Britain, and his father has passed away, and yeah. And he obviously then he's the eldest child, even though not by very much because he's got a twin brother. And yeah, it's sort of, he then starts receiving these, like, as you can see on the cover, he starts receiving these like green envelopes sort of like threatening him and like to expose him, because not only is he king, he's also black, he's also secretly at the time queer, and isn't out to his family at the beginning of the book. And so it's sort of the threats around that. It also, obviously, within the pages of this book, talks about the racism that that he faces being the first black monarch, and it's obviously a reflection on a lot of the stuff that has gone on with Meghan and Harry. Obviously, it's very telling about that, and also other like racist things that have gone on along with within the royal family. So yeah, it sort of delves into a lot of themes to do with that, obviously, as you would expect. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The audiobook is really good, and it feels like a very escapist thing because it's YA, so it's nothing, even though it does tackle these heavy themes, it still is quite easygoing. And the narrator, like I said, is amazing. The narrator is, like I said, Ivano Jeremiah, and he was just so good. Like, I cannot tell you, like, it's so, obviously that does increase the enjoyment of an audiobook if you have an amazing narrator. So yeah, if you have this book and you want to check it out, and you can check it out on audiobook, do. Like the audiobook is currently available on Script, like I said. So yeah, it's a fun one. If you like YA, obviously you might not like it, because some things I think you can see coming, but it's fine. So yeah. Right, then I also finished, I got out from the library last week and then finished Shy by Max Porter. I started it, I think, on one of the Plods. Actually, no, I didn't start it on the Plod because I started it before in the morning, and last Sunday. And yeah, it's just Max Porter's latest work, and it's very quick. I can't even really tell you too much about the plot. It's like about this young boy called Shy. I guess it's similar, like it kind of gives me Yulani vibes, but obviously I think it just covers some more deeper themes than that. I really don't know whether I've got the maximum out of this book, and for that reason I haven't like rated it the highest. But I think if you're a Max Porter fan, and it's obviously like the work, like I did enjoy it as I read it, but again, it's not something I can really tell you like wholly about the plot. I don't think it's really plotty. I think it's more about Max Porter's writing, which I did enjoy the writing. And then, like I said, some of the pages you have to go over and then go back and forth and back and forth to read that, stuff like that, which I enjoy. But yeah, this isn't my favourite. I much preferred Lanny to this personally. So that are my thoughts on that. I started, I was talking to Charles Heathcote. I talk about Charlie in every video, no surprises. And he was he showed me like a quote of like a book he was currently reading. It's a short story collection called The Refugees by Viet, Nguyen, and the author. And the quote just looks so amazing, and Charlie was saying how much he was enjoying the short story collection. So he knows like that's the kind of thing I'm interested in as well. So I was like, straight away I just downloaded it on Kindle, and again I started it on another Plod. I think it was Tuesday's Plod. I'll talk about the Plods after this. But yeah, and I literally, so the first story I read was Black-Eyed Women, and this is, Charlie described it to me as it's sort of like Wandering Souls if it was a short story, and if it was, well, Charlie said if it was kind of, Charlie said that it was sort of what Wandering Souls was trying to do, but obviously I think Charlie felt like it was more successful than Wandering Souls even. So if you like that, book, I think you really would like, I could definitely see what he was saying when I was reading the book. I think you would, I think you would like the short story, that particular short story especially. That's the only story of the collection I've read so far. Yeah, Viet Thanh Nguyen is actually a Pulitzer winner. He won the Pulitzer Prize in 2016 for his book The Sympathizer, which I'm sure maybe some of you will know that. I didn't know this. I definitely am interested to maybe dip my toes into that after this collection if I carry on enjoying his writing. So yeah, that's that. Then I also recently just started listening to Miss Aldridge Regrets by Louise Hare. I've read I think it's This Lovely City by Louise Hare, which was her debut book, and yeah, so I wanted to check out more from her. Me and Charlie I think did an anticipated releases last year, and this was one of mine. I've been meaning to get to it for ages, and so far so good. It sort of gives you Agatha Christie vibes. It's sort of Death on the Nile kind of story. I'll explain more the more I read it, but yeah, it's that kind of crime set on a boat. Obviously there's more going on. I feel like yeah, so once I've read it I will obviously keep you informed and tell you more of my thoughts, but so far I think I've read like a couple of chapters and I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah. So I think that is all I've read, which isn't, like I said, a lot, but it still is quite good. And I've been, so obviously today I've been to the library, obviously. I live in the library practically, feels like it, and I picked up Small Worlds by Calab, Azumah Nelson. I haven't actually, I've got his first book on my shelves upstairs, so I may well read the first book and then dip into this. But on Tuesday's Plod, we obviously, which again I'll talk to you in a minute, we had Sarah from Freshly Read Books on, and I think it was other Sarah from Your True Shelf, was saying about how she's going to meet Calab Azumah Nelson this week, I believe. She's going to an author event, and so obviously we started nattering about his books a little tiny bit, so it's made me want to, as soon as I saw it at the library I was like, well, I need to pick it up because it's a new one and lots of people have been kind of like saying about it and saying how good it is. So yeah, that's why I nabbed that. That's a potential future read. Right, in terms of like, so today I'll tell you about a little bit about my day. I don't normally say about my days, but as soon as I finished helping out at the library, I went and saw my sister. So obviously I went and visited the kittens. I often go and see the kittens. I love the kittens. But Marbles was making me laugh because obviously I'm currently, I don't know if you can tell, wearing a dress, and she was like darting from one side of the bottom of my dress. I sat on the floor and she was darting from one side of the bottom of my dress up in my dress, and then like going around the back and then out the other side. So and she was just having the best time using my dress as basically like a tunnel, and then she sort of like snuggled underneath it and was just being really super cute. And then a little while later, Misty came along and was like pouncing all over her. It was just very, very cute, all the cuteness and all the crazy, which was really loads of fun. And then afterwards I went in to town and had lunch with my sister, which was equally lovely, and we just had a yummy Chinese, which was delicious. So yeah, so that's my today. And I've also got a couple of things like for decor for the lounge and like frames and things. So yeah, that was that. And then I know what I was going to talk to you about. So I was watching a video that I highly recommend you all go and watch. I was watching Kieran from Kieran Reader, her channel, and she's got a brilliant channel. In case you're not subscribed to Kieran, I'm sure all of you are, but I'll put link her channel in the description, and link specifically the video that I'm going to talk to you about, because I literally I think it was yesterday, I was at home and I was watching an interview that she'd done with Derek Owusu, and yeah, so I'd read, I think it's that This Reminds Me or That Reminds Me, I can't remember what the name of his first book is, his debut book, but specifically, like I said, she was doing this interview with him, and it was really, really, really good. And Derek Rouzy was listed at the beginning of the year for the Granters Best of Young Novelist 2023. So yeah, which is really a high accolade for him, which is really, really good. Yeah, so but yeah, in the interview, she just obviously had a really good, Kieran had a really good rapport with him, and it was just like, and it was so interesting hearing him talk as well about, not only about like his book and his process and things like that, which was just so interesting. He was also saying about like books that he's enjoyed, which was, I always find fascinating, hearing from an author, like the books that he's kind of currently reading and books that he's loved. And he was also talking about DNFing and like the importance of kind of like making sure that you're not forcing reading, and it was just so many things. I just really, really just thought it was such a great interview, and I think Kieran did such a great job of it. So yeah, I'm going to link that in the description just because I loved it so much. So Kieran, you did a great job. I already told you in the message, in the comment, that you did a great job, but you did amazing. It was brilliant. It was such a great interview. So everyone needs to go and watch that. Right. So then, I know what I was going to say as well. Before I like talk about the Women's Prize lives and all the live shows and things like that, I did mention it on one of the live shows, but I forgot to like say it on here last week. The British Book Awards was announced like last week or the week before / very recently, and Trespasses, which is my favourite book from the shortlist, won a Nibby, what the British Book Awards is also known as. It's also known as the Nibbies. Yeah, so yeah, it won a Nibby. It won a Nibby for best debut, I think it did. So I was like so happy for Louise Kennedy, because like I just love that book so much, and I know it's not everybody's like cup of tea, but yeah, I just adored it. So yeah, well done, Trespasses. And also I'm a Fan also won a Nibby. It also won an award. It won for the Discover Award, I think, which is like, I think innovative fiction kind of award kind of thing. So yeah, so yes, so yay for those books. I'm very, very pleased and happy for those books. Right, in terms of the plod along, thank you guys, every single person that has come along to the plod along, even if you've only come along once, or even if you've come along and chatted a few times with us, like, or if you're one of our regulars, we just appreciate you so much. Me and Jem and Alice appreciate you guys so much. You've really honestly made the whole thing just so much more fun, having you like interacting with everybody and just enjoying reading the books together, and it's just honestly such a great crowd of people. So yeah, thank you. I wanted to say that again. We're nearly at the end now, I think. In terms of the next plod, we've got Bob, the lovely Bob the Bookerer. He's coming on Jem's channel on Monday the 29th at 8 p.m. So I know we normally often have done them on Tuesdays, but it's going to be on a Monday, so just bear that in mind on the bank holiday Monday. Also, in terms of live shows on Monday, I'm also going to be joining the lovely Victoria from What Victoria Read. She is hosting a 12-hour live show, which I'm obviously not taking part for 12 hours, but I'm joining her for 1 hour. I'm joining her between 11 and 12. So even if you can't make my specific like slot, you can also join. I hope you can go and support Victoria, because like a 12-hour live show is a lot. Like I get 1 hour after 2-hour live show, so I can only imagine. Like I think Victoria's just amazing. And yeah, and she just deserves all the support, and I think it's to sort of celebrate her 3,000 subscribers, and also maybe a BookTube anniversary, I think. Either which way, Victoria is amazing, and she's like one of my favourites on here, obviously. So yeah, everyone go show Victoria some love and come and join her on the live show and just natter with her and give her some support and encouragement. So yeah, that's also Monday. And then also in terms of the past pods, which I kind of was like saying about, so last Sunday we had the amazing Jen the librarian came on my channel. Yeah, we're nattering away, and we even got to see Jen's like book trolley, which was so much fun. And also Jen was telling us about like the weirdest bookmarks and things, which was crazy, and like perks, like things that she enjoyed being a librarian, and some things not so much. So yeah, it was just such a good live show, really enjoyed it. And then on Tuesday we had Sarah from Freshly Read Books also that joined us over on Jem's channel, which both of those videos I will link below, and also I will link the playlist. and Sarah was just lovely as well, and it was so much fun chatting to both of these wonderful people. So yeah, check out those live shows as well. I think that is all. I don't know what else to say to you. I don't know. I found the perfect paint. That's what I was going to say to you guys. So I know I've been saying for ages, like I was on the hunt for this perfect paint, and I managed to find, in my eyes, what's the perfect paint colour for my room, which I might just insert like a picture of. I'll insert here pictures of a picture of the blank wall. It's not very interesting to show you a blank wall, but if you want to see what green it is, that's what it is. Some people might think it's too dark. I have got a very small lounge. I live in a very small house, so yeah, it's maybe for some people it would be too dark, but I love these curtains, and I wanted to kind of bring the forest into my lounge, and I didn't want like a boring green. So to me, it's like how I described it. It's like a forest in spring. That's the kind of green that I believe I have got on my walls. Let me be deluded if you disagree. I have found a colour. Yay! I've still got to paint the other 3 walls and potentially the ceiling, which I don't know whether I'm going to have the spoons to do the ceiling, but will it look a mess if I don't do it? We will see. I may potentially end up doing the ceiling. We'll see. It's going to take me so much longer because every time I do it, obviously I have to rest my hands because they get so sore. So yeah, I'm just doing it in small stages. We'll get there. Yeah, but yeah, we're on the way. So yeah, I'll probably will be doing that in half term next week. So it's half term, so the kids are going to be at home. Probably not super exciting for them, but they're teenagers and they'll be doing other things anyway. So yeah, so that's that. So yeah, let me know what you guys are going to be up to next week. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know things that you've loved. I have also done a DNF this week, which I haven't mentioned, which I forgot to mention. I DNF'd, what was it? Close to Home by Michael McGee. But it's not because I don't believe this is a bad book. I just believe that it's the wrong time for me. I may go back to it. I may not. Yeah, I may talk about that in the future. We'll see. Take care and send you guys lots of love.